everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Gathering. First off, I want to apologize for being so late this evening. We had a series of technical difficulties. Our guests were also running a little behind. And then we have some other technical difficulties with our other guests that we're trying to bring on. So I know we are almost an hour late, but we do have a great show planned for you tonight. We are coming to you live from our home haunt, the amazing Nickerson Snead House. Those of you that watched season 1, last year, you saw that we did the last 5 episodes of that season as a special event from here. And we're back here tonight. And tonight we have some special guests in the studio with us. We have the Ghost Sisters. Some of them are up front here with us right now. Jennifer's with me and Rhonda in the front room. And then back in the gentleman's parlor, we have Mandy and Chastity and Al. I forgot Al, our case manager. I forgot my own guy. How about that? So we are really excited to get tonight's show started because it's supposed to be a roundtable, and we're supposed to also have some other people joining us. Taryn Kerper from Paranormal Brew and Endaline Paranormal, Tiffany and Jamie Brock. But they are having a little technical difficulty getting on right now, so if we can bring them on, we will. But so we'll go ahead and get the show started. Mandy, why don't you talk a little bit about the Ghost Sisters and you guys coming in doing this collab with us, and then we'll jump into the program talking about some paranormal stuff.
Okay. Well, we are a all-female group, and Chastity and I are biological sisters. And I also have another sister who is biological sister of mine, and she does it. She's just part-time. And then we have Jennifer. Jennifer is pretty much, might as well consider her full-time now because she's with us all the time. She's new to the group. I think she's been with us maybe almost 2 months now. And then we also have another girl who is my best friend, and she's been with us as a part-time maybe 3 months. But yeah, some of us work in law enforcement. I work in law enforcement. I'm a corrections officer. Chastity and I were the first ones to go out and investigate in 2016. I decided to create Ghost Sisters in, it was 2017. I believe it was in October 18th, I believe. So we've actually been doing this now for about 4 years. And we are based on an all-female team only.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And that's one of the things that we wanted to talk a little bit about tonight that we're kind of excited about. We started our journey a while back. For me, it was in 2005, and I formed this team, SRS Paranormal, in 2007. And we've had a few member changes along the way, but we pretty much had an all-male team. And really, the paranormal field still has a lot of male-dominant teams. That's a common thing you see a lot in the paranormal. We quickly realized that adding female energy really changed the dynamic for us. We were able to do things that really changed the dynamic for us. Started working with Rhonda here on deprivation and some of the different spiritualist movement era techniques, the seances and the dowsing rods and the pendulums and the Ouija boards and all those different tools that were used then. So we started finding different ways to blend that. But we quickly caught on that having that diversity and energy was really cool. So our team is quite diverse and has kind of both. So what we wanted to do tonight when we put this roundtable together was kind of celebrate the women in paranormal by having you guys, bringing in other good friends of ours like Taryn Kerper, who hopefully should be able to join us from Paranormal Brew. And then you have Endaline Paranormal, which is an all-female team that's out of Brushy Mountain. So we think it's fantastic to see so many women teams starting to all women teams and teams including the women in it. So we think this is some of the best people in the paranormal that we've had the opportunity to work with, and really excited to get to dive into some topics with you guys tonight. So let's start with this one. How do we feel about haunted dolls? And I was really hoping Taryn would be on for this because I've got like this thing with haunted dolls. So let's talk haunted dolls for a few minutes.
I love my haunted dolls.
So how many do you have?
I have 3. Yes. And the interesting thing was the first one I ended up ordering from a lady who actually she sells them. And when I found out the history on my doll, I was like, okay, this seems pretty interesting to me. And this doll apparently had died in the woman's arms, and she was 42 years old, and she had a brain aneurysm, and
wow.
she actually loved dolls. And they said she was kind of a sad soul, but I mean, I thought, well, I think she'd like it at my house. There's a lot of stuff at my house, and plus I had 2 other dolls. But the weird thing was, when I first got this doll, I noticed a week having her, I have this huge canvas in my hallway of my husband and I noticed it was turned upside down. And I'm like, who's turning this picture upside down? And I'm like saying something to my husband. He's like, why would I do that? You know? And then I said something to my oldest daughter. She's 17. I said, did you do this? She said, Mom, why? You know, why would I do that? I said, well, somebody turned it upside down. You would have to literally take it off and, you know, turn it yourself. You couldn't just
Physically move it, right?
Like that. So I noticed that was going on, and I turned the picture back around and got it situated. And then a couple of days later, you know, it did it again. And I was like, okay. And I knew it was the doll. I've not had nothing like that happen with none of my pictures before. And it just started happening when I got the doll. And,
So
you know, and I think it was just her trying to let me know, you know, she wanted
I
to
got to
be
ask you a
acknowledged.
question now. I got to ask you this question. So had you already bought the other 2 dolls, or did that happen before you bought the other 2 dolls? Because I'm just thinking, if I had a doll in my house doing that, I would not be buying more of them. So I'm just trying to figure that one out. I'll figure that underlying.
My daughter had already had 2 porcelain dolls that I think she's had since she was 7 years old. So I already had the 2 girls, and then I wanted to get my own. And so that's what I did. I went about it, got her, brought her home. And then just activities started acting up in the house.
Yeah.
And so I just decided to take the dolls and put them all 3 together. And I've noticed the activity is not as much. I mean, she doesn't mess with nothing now. I think she's happy because they said that the lady who had the doll loved dolls. So I got them all 3 together on a chair. And
Wow.
they seem to be happy. So
Awesome. Well, I want to welcome Underline Paranormal. We finally got them on. Hi, guys. How you guys doing? Good to see you again. Everything going good down that way?
We had some
Can't hear him.
difficulties. Can you hear?
Yeah, we did too. We had a bunch of technical difficulty. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We're on the topic of haunted dolls. So we'll bring you guys into the conversation. You guys own any?
Yep, couple.
How many you got? Am I the only one here that is creeped out by these dolls? I mean, I'm feeling like I'm the only one that is.
No.
No, I got a no back there. What are you saying? No.
Yeah, mine got a little too active. They're right now sitting inside Brushy Mountain in a box.
You got them in prison,
So they're in a
Jamie?
cell, huh? Did you put them down in the hole?
Brushy Mountain is, whew, that's an active place.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah,
guys?
I've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you met the Ghost Sisters, right?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think.
They've been to Brushy.
We were just at Brushy Mountain a couple months ago.
Where
Well,
are
then
you?
we had to
Well,
pick you.
let me. I can't see them. We're looking at it.
She said she can't see us.
And I am horrible with names, but yeah, if I could look at them, I know I'd know them, but I don't. Yeah, I can't see them. But if they've been at Brushy, yes, we know them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you guys are awesome, and we love getting to work with you guys too. We've had the pleasure of coming down and working with you guys a few times down there at Brushy, and you've come up here and investigated the Nickerson Snead with us, and that was
Yeah.
great. So we hope to get you guys back up here again because we had a good time that night. And tonight we've got the Ghost Sisters here. So, but I want to talk a little more about this haunted doll thing. What now, Al? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Tiffany will have to come this time. She didn't make it last time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And we apologize, Courtney. I thought Jamie said you were working tonight and wasn't going to be on, so I didn't let Matt know that.
It's okay.
Al doesn't let me know anything. This is just part of the
Right,
court.
if you're wrong. And she clicked on it, and we just happened to hear that. And I was like, "Oh, you're not a member." I'm a
Yeah, and we
female.
weren't, and we weren't sure if you guys are going to definitely get on or not there. So I do have you guys scrolling on the bottom as far as your social media. I did not put it in the original thing because I wasn't sure if you guys are going to be able to make it. So that was why we kind of did that. So haunted dolls, I've got to get on this thing for a minute with haunted dolls, and I'll tell you why I'm obsessed with this. Because everywhere we go, there is a creepy doll. I mean, and I wish Taryn was on right now from the Brew, because when we went to Wildwood, they had a whole room of haunted dolls and creepy dolls and horrible dolls. And it's like everywhere I go, there's a haunted doll. And for whatever reason, I have to pick them up. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I just have to pick these things up. So my dear buddy Rhonda here, my investigating partner when we're out in the field, has recently bought a haunted doll that she brings on investigations with us. So why don't you talk about your haunted doll, since we're on haunted dolls?
He is a 1930s Charlie McCarthy, and I got him from eBay. I don't know what possessed me, because I've always been afraid of ventriloquist dolls, deathly afraid of them. But for some reason, something said, you need one of these. So I got on eBay and looked, and the lady had, she said that it was haunted. It belonged to her grandmother or whatever. And so I got it thinking, well, okay, maybe it is, maybe it's not. If it's not, it'd be a good trigger object when we go on investigations. Turns out that I got him. I brought him home, put him in a little room that I keep locked off. All my stuff is in, my psychic stuff and my investigating stuff. And so my daughter has the adjoining room, and the door stays shut and locked. And she calls me up the next day and says, Mom, you've got to get rid of this creepy little dog of yours. And I said, why? She said that he had gotten up and walked around the room. They could see the light break under the door, and they could hear pitter patter of feet all night long. And they locked the door on their side between the rooms. But yeah, he is haunted, and he likes to go with us on our trips, and he just loves Matt.
I don't like creepy Chucky. I don't like creepy Chucky. No, I like creepy Chucky. He does freak me out. When she first handed it to me, I was like, oh my God, why are you handing me this thing? But no, Taryn, you were just in time. Taryn is actually at a health emergency with one of her animals. She's actually doing this from the vet. So
Yes.
she's kind of
I'll be
undercover
in and
doing
out.
this
I'll be in and out.
live with. But we're talking about haunted dolls, Taryn. How do you feel about haunted dolls? I need some backup. These people all own them and they love them. Let's talk, because I need some backup.
I never even owned a Barbie. I nope, can't do it. I don't like dolls. Not at all. Nope. I didn't even watch the movie Annabelle. Can't do it. It was the worst nightmare of my life. Haunted dolls, Taryn's favorite thing.
Taryn, how many dolls would you say was in that room at Wildwood?
That room, I literally made people sleep up against those doors. On the other side, we closed the doors. I made people sleep up against those doors so nothing could come out of that room and come and get us at night.
I'm not kidding. This room had what, $150 in there at least?
A lot of dogs.
At least. And they were all
Yeah.
creepy. Like, there was no cute Cabbage Patch dolls in there or something. Like, they were all creepy dolls.
They were all demonic, Satan spawn, evil,
Yes.
horrible, Chucky killer dolls. Every one of them.
Yes.
All of them. Every one of them.
Yes.
Well, man, I got news for you. When we go to Randolph County in March, there's a room full of dolls up there too.
I don't get
God,
it.
what is
There
all these
is
dolls? Yeah.
I don't think they had that when we were there.
It was in not Ida Uncle's room, but the other lady that they dropped off there. It was in her room.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
The cook.
Like, I don't understand
I
why
don't know.
you have to have
All
dolls.
these people.
If a place is already
So here's a question.
active, you don't need it.
So yeah, I agree. Let's get rid of them all, right, Taryn? They need us to all go. I'm with you. We need to start a movement. Do away with haunted dolls. No.
Yeah. We'll protest.
Creepiest, like doll-like
No, they were like that.
thing that we had. Jamie had one of those for real birds, like you buy for kids, and like they're not supposed to like growl and point their eyebrows down, make a mean face. But we were doing an investigation at the sheriff's department, and long story short, somebody made a comment about a person that the spirit there doesn't like. And when they said his name, this horse turned its head,
Mm-mm.
its eyebrows like pointed down, and it growled at this man. We got that on video.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Doctor says, "Is this supposed to do that?" I said, "Have you ever heard a horse growl before?" And he was like, "No, ma'am." And he went to draw his gun. I said, "Don't you dare shoot my horse." But the weirdest thing about that one, so I just got that because it's kind of the same concept of everything else we use. It was motion detected. So, since it had these sensors on it, and every time he would move through the room, it would turn its head toward him and growl. And so it was a few months after that we had been there that the sheriff came up and asked us. He said, "Have you been getting a female up here by chance at the prison any?" We had actually had some reports of we do get a female one, but we had been getting some reports of a female in another location.
This was new.
Yeah, it was new. It wasn't because this one doesn't travel around. But anyway, but we really haven't linked it to anything. And he said since we left that they had not had any problems whatsoever out of Shelley anymore, that they hadn't been getting her. And she was throwing things. Like if this officer walked in a room, she would throw things. The doors were slammed, and they even had footprint, like they tried to paint the floor in one location and they had footprint through it, so I don't know, it's pretty cool. We still got the horse though. It's at Brushy also.
Yeah, I think when we were at Wildwood and we were all downstairs and we heard this, if I wish Matt was on right now, because we heard this like little running up across the for upstairs on the I gotta go, I'll be back.
We've lost her.
Everybody. Oh,
I think the spirits are messing with our.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think we're
Stuff.
back. Did you guys stay on, or did we lose you all completely? We were completely down.
Yeah, we just Taryn just cut out. We're all kind of cutting out. I think it's the spirits.
And I've been sitting here talking to you. There.
Yeah, we were going completely. I mean, we had nothing. The screen was blank. We completely lost y'all. So I don't know what we missed. So you guys tell us what's going on because we don't know what happened.
Well, Taryn was talking about being at Wildwood and we heard like running while we were downstairs.
Oh my God, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. We finished the story about the horse. Did you even hear that?
The story about what? I'm sorry.
The for real toy, the horse.
Nope, missed that. Missed the whole thing. We were gone.
It's a good story.
Well, I'll have to go back and rewatch it so that I'll know the story.
Yeah.
So how's things going in Brushy? You guys are staying busy, aren't you?
Yeah. Very. Yeah, that's why I've been trying to put up a Christmas tree and do some decoration. I have one day off and well, I ran out of time, and so that's why Tiffany combed her hair. We didn't. I don't know.
Don't look at the back.
Well, how's the activity down at Brushy?
Oh my gosh, it's been really good lately. Getting a lot of crazy stuff. My husband went up earlier to lock some stuff up for me, and he was talking about he said that he kept getting voices and he couldn't figure out what was going on, and he finally found there was a speaker, and it was coming through the speaker, and he was like, I can't even talk about it. It's giving me cold chills now. But so that was a first. We've never heard anything about voices coming out of speakers.
Yeah, and for people watching that may never have been there, it is in the middle of like nowhere. I mean, there's really when you get back where that mountain range is and that back there, it's absolutely there's not. You can only pick up regular radio signals. I mean,
cell phone signal.
Yeah, there's no cell phone signal. I mean, it's literally that's a dead spot, is what I guess I'm trying to say.
Unless you have AT&T.
Now, our fire department radios, we were on the roof Halloween one year investigating, and they were turned completely off, and there were voices coming through
Yeah,
our handheld radios.
yeah, that happens.
So we were standing there, and we was like, "Where's that talking coming from?" And it was our
Yeah.
radio, but they were turned off. So
Yeah, Brushy's kind of spoiled us. I mean, being back here in this little hole, you know, when we go to other locations and we get road noise or other type things, you know, we're not used to that. We're used to being
Right. Yeah. And especially on cameras and stuff, because you don't realize how sensitive the microphones on recorders and cameras are until you go back to evidence review, and then you're like, I didn't even hear that car. So yeah, I'd say back where you guys are, it's so desolate and isolated that's definitely for sure. So we're going to get back on the topic here. I just wanted to wrap out the haunted dolls thing. So let's talk about, since we have so many people here that have a wide range of experience, what are your guys' thoughts on the reasonings for haunted dolls? What do you think is the cause of that? So I'll start with you guys there in the parlor. What's your thoughts on some of the reasons we have haunted dolls? Why not haunted, dump trucks? Why not haunted soccer balls? Why is it dolls?
Well, I think it can be. I think it
Okay.
can be, I mean, like for instance, my daughter has a toddler, but they just one of her toys was really going berserk, yeah. So that, and they thought, well, maybe it's the batteries. Then they took the batteries out of this toy, and it was still without batteries. It was still going off and doing things, and they think there's an elderly woman there that had passed away there, and because like sometimes when she comes to my house and she'll spend the night there, the baby's monitor, the camera on it will go off and it'll trigger and it'll pick things up there in her nursery, so, and no one's home, it's kind of weird, but I think I guess they could, and maybe they'd pick a doll because it looks human.
maybe, yeah, because that's kind of what I think.
And right, that's kind of,
And
yeah.
I think it's just a good kind of, I don't know, universal kind of conduit maybe for it or something. Like a lot of people.
Well, and I mean, a lot of people think they're weird,
Yeah.
but a lot of people find comfort in dolls. I mean, I always enjoyed having my dolls growing up and my stuffed animals and stuff. I enjoyed that kind of stuff and found comfort in it. So maybe.
Yeah, so it's like a personal connection to it.
Yes. Yes.
You take care of it. You treat it like it's a human.
Personified.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a personal thing that you interacted with and you really enjoyed, and you give it personality. I mean, all of us as kids, active imaginations, you kind of give things personalities, right? I mean, you give your little zebra a voice or whatever, and you kind of interact with it. That's why I think that's what it is. But I was just curious to see what everybody else's thoughts were. Jennifer, you've been kind of quiet. What's your thought?
50 porcelain dolls at home, but none of them are haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I know of.
hey, I just got a good idea.
I see. I agree. Absolutely right.
I think tomorrow night, Matt needs to do some isolation in the room in the cave. What do you think?
I
vote
yeah,
yes.
I vote yes.
Oh,
There's a lot of dolls and other creepy things in there.
I don't know if you figured this out yet, maybe not. Al likes to torture me. He's not very nice to me at all. He's pretty mean.
I think you should.
Rhonda knows which room I'm talking about.
See what they do to me? It's just not nice. It's not right. No, but I think that's interesting, and I think that I agree. I think that any object can hold energy, right? So you can acquire. I mean, you've got some oddities here at the house that you're acquiring. So there's energies. As a psychic, as a medium. What do you think? I mean, can any object pull spirit energy, or what's your thoughts?
I think any object can pull and have an energy attached to it, depending on what it meant to the person. But I think dolls probably are more likely because you give it a personality. You give it, these kids, like you said, they take, and like Al said, they take care of it. You personify it and it becomes almost living when you have it anyway. And then it may not be that it has a human attachment, you may have given it life by putting that
That energy
energy
intent in it.
into it. So that could be why it's
Interesting.
haunted as well, because
Interesting.
I'm kind of attached to my little guy and
A lot of
him
joy.
around.
Yeah, it's creepy.
You know.
You know, Robert the doll was once loved and
Yes,
cuddled
I
too. Look at
know.
how that worked out.
Well,
Just saying. But so, all right. So speaking on those terms, so you have those different items, and you have those different things that are haunted. Why do you think certain locations are more active than others as a group? What's your thoughts on that? You know, what do you think is the reasons? Do you think it's necessarily the broader scope? Is it the tragedies? Is it the events? Is it the connections? Is it just spirits like certain places? What's your all thoughts on that?
I think it's all of it.
I
All
do
of it
too.
in one.
I do too. I think there's probably no location. I just don't believe that. I think about anywhere you would ever go, you're going to find spirit. I just do. Because,
Absolutely.
I just think they're everywhere. But I think there's certain locations that it's easier for them maybe to interact with you. Like, you know, at Brushy, you know, we've got the underground water, we've got the flowing water on the sides, we've got the limestone, we've got so much stuff. We're on the fault line, you know, there's a lot there that fuels it.
And a lot of trauma.
A whole lot of trauma. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I think, Jamie. I think you're right. I think it has a lot to do with the circumstances around the location, because here we have the limestone foundation, we have a water spring, we have the crossroads, we have ley lines behind the house, we have the tragedy with the house. Anything you could ask for to cause a haunting, it is here, much like Brushy. I think the more circumstances of location, you know, you put into it, that like all that, the more active it's going to be.
Right.
And I think more of your own personal energy that you put into it, the more activity you're going to get.
Right.
Yeah,
Good point.
I think certain people can bring out spirit. Like if you go to a place that, say someone went to a location and they say, oh, we had just a little bit of experiences. And then another team goes in and they have a lot of experiences. I think that certain people have that energy and that the spirits are really drawn to.
I
I've seen this happen a
People
lot.
have that ability too. They just don't bring it forth. I think too, spirit also knows that. Like, I
Yep.
think that if you're going to walk in there, they know, oh, look, I can interact with them and they're going to
100%.
listen. Where
100%.
if
Yep.
this one might think, oh, boo, you know, and nothing, but I think they know people that they know they can interact with too. And
You
that's
know,
why
I think
more.
too, also, I think spirit people are in life or in death as they are in life, I would imagine, right? I mean,
Yeah,
just because
that's what I
Al's a
always
jerk,
say.
just because Al's a jerk in life, he's going to still be one when he leaves here. I promise you.
Yeah.
I know.
I agree.
But
I've always
no,
said
seriously, though, I really think that. I think that people are in life they're in death. So I mean, you walk around Walmart, for example, and there's some people you like, and there's some people you just automatically just don't like. You know, Walmart isn't the big box store, but you know what I'm saying? So I think spirit works the same way. They pick the energies they want to interact with. And I know in our experience, having like doing a lot of publics where we do these public investigations and we bring a lot of people in, we have some nights that it's off the chain at the same location. And then there's other nights it's not. And it's because I think the energy that is in the group, spirit doesn't like that energy. So they choose not to interact. And I would say you guys experience that down there a lot, dealing with so many groups and different people.
It's kind of a perfect little melting pot for that. I mean, because you had your perverts there, you had thieves there, you know, you had innocent people there. You know, we're getting a lot more Native American stuff coming through. So, I mean, and you can pick that. I mean, we know as soon as we get out interacting with someone, before we even ask, we can tell who we're interacting with. They've got personalities, you know?
Right.
I thought everybody in prison was innocent, Jamie.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
We've been doing a lot of digging, and I'm going to tell you, there was a lot of people up there that didn't deserve to be there. I mean, so many there for lying and
Crazy
staff,
stuff. Yeah.
whatever, back in the day. We had a 10-year-old there that he didn't deserve to be in that prison,
Yeah. Can
So
you imagine being in there at 10? Oh my gosh.
I remember you telling that story
yeah,
about the
well,
10-year-old.
recently we found that he wasn't the only one. We've got record of it's called the Children of Brushy, and they were 13 and under.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
Well, you
That's
know,
horrible.
with me being a corrections officer, I love going into prisons and jails, and oh, I love it. I'll wear my utility belt, and I'll just have, it's almost like I'll announce that I'm an officer and just try to interact with them and stuff. It's pretty neat, I think, to
Yeah.
go in places like that. Because I kind of know how it felt, when you're around people like that.
Right.
Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about some of your favorite methods, since you guys are, you guys are both all women team. And I know we're kind of splitting. We got people from both, and we kind of did that because we're running the computers in 2 rooms. That way, for technical issues, we have somebody that can run the stream from both rooms, since we're split in 2 rooms. But so with you guys both being all female teams, Ghost Sisters and End of the Line, what's some of your favorite methods that you guys use, and that you kind of have the female energy side that you use with it? That you think
Evidently, their favorite method is not to have a guy on the team.
We used to when we first started. We actually had our tech guy. He was he set up the cameras and watched the cameras while we were out there, and if we needed him, he'd come and help us. And used to.
Our
Got rid of
husband
him.
up, and then
Now they got 3 dolls gone. No, but so seriously, I mean, like for us, we use spontaneous role play, kind of like you were talking about, like the corrections officer. But we do stuff like that. We've used, put our historian in period clothing and had him talk and act as if he were in that environment. That's a technique that we use. We do a lot of deprivation stuff. We do a lot of where we do cross validation stuff. So, I was just kind of saying what you guys do that's unique for you all. And if there's anything that you think being all female teams maybe gives you a little different viewpoint on it. Like, for example, I'll give an example. I know for us, a lot of times when we go into a location, and I work a lot with Rhonda, she's my investigation partner when we're in the field. And she'll connect quicker, of course, being psychic medium, that's separate, but child spirits will interact with her a lot more. Female spirits will be more comfortable interacting with her more than they are me, but male spirits will interact quickly with me. So that's where I'm kind of going with that is, do you guys, what do you put, what's your little, that you bring different to the table? I don't know if I figured that even remotely right, but I tried.
Well, we do a few different things different when we go in and investigate. I don't like to know much about a place when I go in because I'm a medium empath and I like to do my spiritual writing. So when I go into a place, I like to do 10 minutes of spiritual writing. And then we like to go out there and compare it to my writing and just see if anything comes through. And well, now we have Jennifer on the team, and she's able to do some different things too. And I would say that we actually get a lot of interaction with children and the women, and we've even had the men flirt with us. A lot of flirtation with the men. I mean, we've done speakeasies where Al Capone was, and we've had we sat up in different areas, and we had like shots of whiskey, and in each booth we had a sister in each booth. And we actually were getting all kinds of stuff coming through. I mean, the guys were just going crazy.
That's cool.
I mean, we try to do different things.
Yeah,
I love that. I love different things and bringing different elements in, because I think that's the only way we're ever going to move forward in the paranormal field is if we try new things. And if we push that envelope a little bit, I think that that's an important thing. How about you guys down there? What are y'all doing? They're laughing at us, so it must be good.
Well, Tiffany's trying to talk like 15 times and everybody just, it's like, I'm going to give her a
I don't think
microphone.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet now. Go for it.
We're just listening, y'all. It's okay.
But it wasn't just this. She's done it all night long. She's trying to talk and no one can hear her.
I think there's a delay. I think they're talking and maybe we're not
Yeah,
hearing
it's
that y'all are
something,
talking
yeah.
or something. But yeah, we don't really have specific techniques. I don't think we do a lot of role play. We do a lot with music.
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of success with different music, and
Everyone can relate to me.
yeah, they can. It's kind of like that universal language, you know. And I think as females, we have that softer approach. Maybe we're more approachable. But I think with our group, we also kind of have that shock factor, you know. So like, we're all nice and stuff, and then they're like, "Oh my god," you know. And,
Where's your petticoat? What happened to that?
and we like to laugh, cut up, and have a good time, and chat amongst ourselves. And I think that invites people too. But one of the big things that we do is we just simply go in and say, "Tell us your story."
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, we don't ask a lot of questions right
And
off
it
the bat.
depends on the location
Yeah,
too.
it's all
I mean,
different.
it's all different. I mean, you know, we're gonna do something different in Brushy than we would if we came to you all. You know, we're not gonna go in to Nickerson Snead just like we would up here at Brushy. You know, so it just depends on the location, really. I mean, and how we handle it, or you know, and if there's something that we want to try to connect with, I mean, we'll bring toys or whatever. If it's a kid, you know, we'll bring different things that, you know, may trigger it, or, you know.
You know, I'm anxious to see if Dr. Snead replaces Courtney as his favorite with one of these girls here tonight.
I want to see.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, Courtney. You pissed him off when you were here.
That
was
not just saying. You brought it on yourself.
We did have a great capture that night though. That I Can Hear You was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Wasn't intentional.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. But
Do you women do a lot of isolations? Do you guys?
not at Brushy. Not at Brushy. No. No, we've learned better than to do that at Brushy.
How does that work out when you do isolation at Brushy there, Miss Rhonda?
Not at
It don't
Brushy.
work out well.
We don't
I'm with
mind
you.
doing it in other locations, but there's just something at Brunchy that we feel that that's not the wisest choice.
Buddy system is
Yeah. Yeah.
Not safe, yeah.
Yeah. You
Would
just
you do it in the tunnels? Would you do it in the tunnels at Hell's Bar?
Who, me?
What about
Do what? I said, would you do it? Would you do it in the tunnels at Hell's Bar Dam?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so.
certainly
That's like no.
probably self, but
Oh yeah, now there's certain spots in Brushy that I wouldn't mind. But yeah, no. But we know where they're from.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we split up and took things out too, because I mean, we all investigate together, but that night just may not be working, and they may not like me or her or Courtney. But we split up and see if we get something different. I think it's important to kind of split up and do solitary, but depending on your location.
Yeah. Can you hear
Yeah, I
me?
think that's a really good point because I think you have to try different things, right? I mean, we talk about this a lot, and I think that's maybe actually earlier. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He sounds like that about.
What's going on, Al? Don't know why. I don't know what the deal is. Is it still doing it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't know what the deal is. Now,
We will bring it up in.
am I still demonic?
There you go.
Am I better? Okay. We'll try that. All right, let's try this again. What I was trying to say was, I don't even know what I was trying to say. I don't even know what matters at this point. But what I think I was trying to say is, I think that knowing when to mix things up is really is an important thing, and that's something that comes with two things. It comes with intuition, and it comes with time, and it comes with experience. But it's so important because it's just like tools. You know, you can have thousands of dollars of equipment, which we do, and that's great, but that's not a replacement for you as the investigator and what you're feeling in that environment and knowing when it's just not working. And it's okay when it's not working to say, hey, you know what? You guys give it a try because this is not working. So, and I think that's an important point.
Really good thing too, when you go to these other locations, for the people that are working there that investigate them all, you know, like we'll have people come to brush it and they come and tell us, oh, you're wrong about that one. They told me something different. Well, over 10,000 people lost their lives in there. I imagine you can get a different name from time to time, you know?
Yeah, sure.
I promise you, after 11 years of doing this inside that prison, you're not wrong. But when someone comes and says, don't go in this room by yourself, you know, keep the buddy system in this one location.
Yes.
You know? And not think that you've got it figured out.
We got a new audio issue. No, I think you're absolutely right, Jamie. I think that's an important point too. Is here's the other thing. You know, don't spirits lie too? I mean, people lie, right? So why don't spirits lie? So just because the spirit, I mean, we catch them in lies here at this place where we investigate a lot. We catch them in lies at the Deary Inn and the Tipton Haynes, sites that we investigate a lot, frequently, over and over and over. They'll tell us one thing and then they'll tell us something. It's a lie, and we catch them in it. Yeah, or they pretend to be something that they're not. They show us different things.
You're echoing. We can't really understand you.
Oh, now we're echoing. Oh my gosh. This is terrible. What about now?
Yeah.
Shoo, this is stressful. I'm gonna need a shot of whiskey before this is over. When is the bar open at this house, Rhonda? No, but the point was that we were talking about that, you know, spirits lie, and like Jennifer made a point too. You know, they'll pretend to be stuff that they're not. They'll show themselves as things that they're not. So should we really be surprised when we get conflicting information? I don't think so. Especially at Brushy Mountain, right? It's a prison. So I mean, it's not like we had, you know, a bunch of altar boys in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and even ones that we interact with on a regular basis will try to lie.
Yeah.
And you know, we know just because we've been there for so long, you know, and we call them out on it. And it's I don't know. Sometimes we've got a couple that intentionally like to lie.
Oh yeah.
And you call them out on it, and they'll start getting more active because they think it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know. And we have one in the den that will say the name demon, like you'll hear it out loud, you get it on your recorder and stuff like that, but it's just a regular spirit. It's not a demon.
He's not.
You know.
Yeah.
But and then if you start cutting up and laughing with him, then he'll give you his name and stuff. So you know, it's they're just. I think there's a lot of them that just like to mess with you. Just
Yep.
you know,
Just play with people. Yep. Absolutely. Well, and you brought up something, Tiffany. You just brought up something interesting too. And in my experience, in all the investigations, all the cases, traveling all over the country, when they say demon or Satan, that is definitely not what they are, because a demon isn't going to walk in and announce that. They're gonna you know, do what they do. So I think that that's something that people get freaked out about. We'll do Publix and somebody will hear, you know, demon or evil on the spirit box or something, and right away they think that, you know, the gates of hell just opened and they're getting ushered away, and that's clearly not the case. So what's your all's thoughts on that?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. You never know if they're going to be messing with you or not.
No, like the nasty ones we have, you're not gonna know till it hits you in the face.
Right.
Yep.
What do you think about people being scratched?
we do have locations people get scratched, and I mean, but we're talking way beyond scratching what we're talking about. But I mean it, and that's what I mean. People just
I think it does happen. I think unfortunately there's people that want to make up stuff so it discredits a lot of that happening. But I think it
Do you
does
think
happen.
it's demonic?
No, I don't think it always is. No.
I read something very interesting. Let me see if I can articulate this because I'm not a physicist or chemist. I barely passed chemistry. But I read this. It was like a correspondent, and they were discussing the fact of how, oftentimes when people see a spirit, they report seeing like a mist or like a gaseous form. And we are all made up of, gas.
Mm.
And so when we pass, their theory was, what if some of that gaseous state remains? And it kind of got me to thinking, because if you get a chemical burn, it leaves like a light red, kind of like reaction on your skin. And aside from like the most extreme cases, but a lot of the scratches, or somebody say like, I feel like something smacked me or something scratched me, if you look at them, they almost do resemble a light chemical burn. And so if that gaseous form of that spirit touched you, in my mind, it just kind of made sense in some way that, that gaseous form is that gas is what left that mark. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be like me scratching you. It would be that gas causing that reaction on your skin. I find it fascinating. Like, I wouldn't care to send you the link. There's pages and pages and pages of this correspondence, but
Please do, because I'd love to read it. Seriously, I love reading stuff like that.
it was fascinating to me, and I thought, maybe that could explain like the scratches and things like that. Maybe that's I've been looking more into that, like how would you even measure something like that? I don't know, but
Right.
Well, I think it could be another way, like them trying to get your attention,
yeah,
For sure. Yeah, and I think, to your question, is it demonic? I think you have to look at so many other things. I think what I see a lot, unfortunately, in this field is a pigeonholing in sense. It has to be this or it has to be that, and I don't think, I think anybody that says they're an expert at this point is really not, because the more I do this, the 16 plus years that I've been doing this, I have more questions today than I did when I started my journey. I have more theories and thoughts than I ever did in the beginning. And I know things now that seemed completely implausible to me when I started. So I think you have to look, it's puzzle pieces, right? So if we have somebody getting scratched, but we also have other indicators, we have to look at all those elements and then try to make the determination of what we're dealing with. Is it just a negative spirit? Is it truly demonic? Is it a human spirit? Is it an elemental? I mean, and the list goes on and on and on and on of all these different things. So I think it's a lot bigger than that. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes in media and in Hollywood and things, just like the Ouija board is demonized, it's sort of the same thing, right? And I think scratches get labeled that way too quickly. And I think people jump to the demonic thing way too fast. I mean, in my opinion.
I don't rule it out completely, though, at Brushy Mountain, because if there was ever a location that could have it, because there was people there that practiced Satanism, there was people that came in there that had a real possibility that they were possessed.
Right.
Who's going to rape their granny and kill her at the same time? You're not if you're doing that, and it could be
you're pretty evil for sure. Yeah.
It could go either way. I don't ever rule it out, but I don't think they're going to come up to you and say, hey, here I am. But
exactly.
I just don't. It would be more of a sneak,
I think a lot of it is, what were you doing before you got scratched?
Right.
Because in every instance that we've witnessed personally,
Right.
that I personally witnessed, that person was doing something to antagonize spirit.
Yeah.
Every single time,
Yeah.
whether they knew it or not. One of the worst ones we've seen was unintentional, but they still antagonized them. And so, and didn't even realize that they were doing so. They were trying to trespass. They don't like that of it. And so if you come in on us, then, they don't like that. And so even though he wasn't intentionally trying to antagonize, he still paid for it.
We had one get scratched on a daytime tour. He was standing there flipping the light switch on and off, and and then he got mad because his kid got scratched while she's standing in the middle of the floor. And I'm like, "What were you doing?" He said, "I'm turning the light on and off." And I was like, "Why were you even doing? A grown man, why are you even doing that?" It's just, I don't know. It's like if it's something you're not supposed to be doing, they're going to draw your attention to something else by
Like smacking your hand.
Yeah.
Smack the kids and in their hand.
So while we're on that topic, what about people that are disrespectful to spirits when they're ghost hunting or paranormal investigating, whatever term you use?
Yeah,
you're gonna get scratched probably.
Yeah, they're the ones.
Right.
They're the ones that's gonna have something happen to them.
It's about intent, right? That's what we always talk about. It's about intent. It's what you bring to the table. The energy that you interject into the environment is going to have a direct proportionate response to what you get in kind from spirit, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's why I think some teams have better results than others too. It has a lot to do with that too. I mean, you think about it. If somebody walked in your house and just started being a complete ass, how would you respond to that? Would you be like, "Oh, hey, sit down, have a soda with me," or would you be fighting mad? So, I think you get what you put out.
Even at Bunchy, I guess we're really fond of our we call them our boys, but I don't even like it when people come up and pretend, like they're guards or whatever, and they walk down with their billy clubs or whatever. And to me, that's the same thing, because a lot of those men up there were really mistreated by some of these guards. And why would you want to do that to them? Yeah, there was some there that was probably deserving of that, but then there's so many there that, I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of being mean toward
And I
them.
think that's knowing what you're dealing with too. Like
Yeah.
as soon as you walk in the door, you're rude and being a jerk, that's one thing, But if you have been working with a particular spirit and certain things get a rile out of them or they're really nasty, then it's okay to be nasty and disrespectful back.
There's a difference in standing your ground and antagonizing, just antagonizing. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
But do you guys see that if anybody comes in, I don't allow it here, but probably it happens behind your back. If somebody provokes, do you notice an increase in negative activity after they leave? Because I do here. It's like the spirits are pissed off because I let somebody come in to do that. Even though it was not, I told them no, they did it behind my back and I had no knowledge. I'll always know when they've done it because things are different.
They seem to act out more toward, like if we go in, we can tell the difference, but then it kind of shuts it down in a way too, like for the next group that comes in, It's like they won't get interaction because it's just like, I don't know, maybe they're just sitting back to see if they've got another dick that come in. I don't know. It's just, who knows? But it affects it.
Yeah,
it does affect it, but
they definitely get standoffish.
right.
That's why I think when they come in and say that they're correction officers or whatever and act that way, I think that's why it kills the activity too. They don't like it.
Yeah, you won't get a whole lot out of it.
When I went there, I had no problem. I think they didn't know what to think of me being a female officer. And I let them know that I wasn't a mean officer and I understood, what a lot of them was going through, because I told them I worked in one.
That's your difference. Because you told them you weren't a mean officer, where the other ones come in and they're hitting the, come on.
They're showing.
They're just pretending?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love it up there too when you let them do the talking and come into the conversation.
Yeah.
So, just going in with that attitude of, you know, I'm not a mean person. I'm just here to talk to you. And you tell me, everybody knows convicts love to tell their story. So, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
yes, results up there.
Like
We had a lot of stuff there. Me and my daughter went there, and we had a lot of stuff.
I'm thinking.
She actually seen something.
Taryn, hey Taryn.
Hi. Sorry if you guys can't see me. I'm in the car.
That's all right.
Ah.
We're just talking here a little bit about spirits and how people sometimes interact with spirit. Sometimes people are provoking or negative towards spirit, and that's kind of what we were just talking about. Just kind of bring you up to speed on the difference in how even sites will react to that negativity or negative behavior.
Right. I do believe in a healthy type of a provoking. Like, you go to, when I go to Gettysburg, I'll play, the Civil War music and stuff like that to try to get, a reaction that way. But,
Yeah.
never anything what you see on TV.
Yeah, and that's that disrespecting, and that's kind of what we were just talking about was when people use that type of methodology. So we'll get your opinion on this one real quick before we move on to a final topic before we wrap it up here. So what's your thoughts on scratches, people being scratched?
So I'm not one to go quick to the negative with stuff like that. I think a lot of people do, and I'm not saying that disrespectfully. I mean, rightfully so. I can see how somebody can, think that, but I myself had an experience where I had, burning and hurt. It was one of my first investigations even, and I had burning and this and that on my back, and they looked at it. There were scratches on my back, but we had a medium with us, and she said it was a little girl that was touching my back, and her energy was so much stronger than my energy that's how when she touched me, that's what was left was these red marks and scratches. And she didn't mean to be, negative or malevolent, but that's what, I don't know. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh-oh.
That kind of goes along with what you were saying, Tiffany, in a way.
I can't.
You're doing that weird voice thing again.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't take everything like that to be something negative. You have to understand that, the theory behind their energies. I mean, when you think about the movie Ghost, Patrick Swayze, he's in the subway trying to learn how to kick that can, and then he finally, with all of his might, does it, and the can goes flying across the subway.
Wow, I like that. I like how you put that. She's got a good point.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
if somebody was sitting there, they'd be like, "Oh, a ghost just tried to hit me in the head with a soda can," But no, that's not it. And people, a lot of times, clients still say, "Oh, try pushing me down the steps." You can't see it. If it wanted to push you down the steps, you'd be pushed down the steps.
Absolutely.
I think it's just them trying to get your attention, and if they're trying multiple times and they don't, I think they use a little bit more force just to be able to get your attention. And sometimes it can come off that way, but I don't think a lot of times it's not.
That's a good point, because a lot of times if they're flicking a light or something, someone's, oh, well, the lamp is messed up, or, or I needed a new light bulb or something. They ignore it, or they put it off to something else. But if you're standing in the middle of the room away from something and something scratches you, what else can you put it toward, So that's a good example. Yeah.
No, and I think everybody's kind of in agreement on that, and I think that's really cool. That's why I think this is a good group of people to put together to talk about a couple topics like this, because and I don't know what that new click is, and I'm not even going to try to figure it out.
You're wondering.
Ignore it. But no, I think that's really cool, because I think we all have the same idea there, the same mindset that, number one, you have to be respectful. We should be respectful in life, so we certainly should be respectful when we deal with spirit. Number two, we respect the energies of the place and the histories of the place. Number three, the interactions are based on pure intentions, not negative intentions, and we're all open-minded and don't immediately jump to assigning something that isn't necessarily what's going on. Because when we go down that rabbit hole, we set ourselves up to really miss the true story of what's happening in a case, in a haunting, in an investigation. And that's, I think, been our lesson over our journey, has been that for sure. You know, if you're too quick to jump to the conclusion, you're going to miss the bigger story.
Yeah. And then you got to think of like, what else are you creating, opening up and bringing onto yourself too, if you're,
Yeah.
you know, going down that rabbit hole that you were talking about, you know?
Yeah. And I think that we see that so often. I mean, you know, the word demon gets thrown around like
So
an
much.
adjective. It's just ridiculous how much you hear that word. I mean, if we were dealing with that many demonic cases, we would all be possessed and
Right.
screwed at this point. I mean, it would be game over, because I mean, if I had $1 for every time someone's told me a location has got demonic activity, I could probably quit my day job. I mean, that's no joke. I really probably could.
I say all the time. That's one of the reasons I started the brew, because, you know, all the shows that came out, most of the shows, you know, that's what everything is, you know, I mean, and I'm like, it can't be all that. Like, you have people that watch those shows that are paranormal enthusiasts, and, you know, they think they should go running around the cemetery and tell them something to throw something at them and come and get me and all this other stuff. And they have no idea what they're doing, you know, because they're doing what they see on TV.
And be careful what you wish for, right?
Exactly.
I mean, because you could open the door to something that you don't want.
They do come. They come to Brushy and they walk in the door, and that's what they think. They think they're going to come in. They're going to see the Holy Grail standing before them, you know.
And then they get mad when they
Well, I didn't see anything, you know. Well, no, I'm sorry, you know.
Sometimes they get both fast. Make it look better, but
Yeah, they're definitely.
It's a shame, because then when you have places like where you guys are at, you have to, you know, you always got to worry about who's coming in and what they're doing, you know,
Yeah.
what, you know, and it stinks because some people don't, even though you're saying, you know, no provoking those. I mean, it happened. I've been helping out Penhurst, you know, for October and November. And, you know, I said to the group, I said, look, no provoking, you know, don't do it, you know, and 20 minutes later, I'm hearing somebody provoking, and I'm like, if you do it again, you're out, because, you know, you can't do it. They think it's, you know, because it's what you see on TV is entertainment, and so they think it's no big deal, but they don't realize, you know, what they could do.
And try to stand in decoy. And all it done was piss it off, you know. They just do a damn thing that make it mad, you know, and it's been mad for a good month now. It's pissed off. But yeah, and we allow that. You know, you can't come in and clean the building. No. But
and the biggest reason is most people know what they're doing, and they just make disasters. But
New audio noise. I have no idea. Oh, new audio noise.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? Because sometimes it's like, it sounds a little scratchy.
Yeah, we can hear you, but there's this very strange popping noise that I don't know where it's coming from. I have no clue.
Yeah, I hear that.
So it's very strange. But guys, any last topic you want to hit before we wrap it up for tonight? This has kind of been a train wreck. It was supposed to have gone smoother, but it didn't work out that way. So we just rolled with it. But I do love the fact that y'all came on, and I appreciate y'all. It's been a blessing to have the opportunity to work with all of you. We're very fond of you guys, all of you. End of the line, Taryn, you guys, you know, Ghost Sisters. We love all y'all. So.
I hope we can do this again. I'm really sorry that I had a little urgent matter to attend to, and I tried to be on.
It's Friday the 13th. We all had issues.
Oh, you're right.
We all had issues.
About that. We did.
But I would.
Well, I'll get ready to wrap this up here. And what'd you say, Taryn? I lost you.
I said, hopefully we can do this again, you know, so I could be on, we can all be on for the, you know, the whole hour and stuff and talk, because, you know,
we'll do it. We'll definitely plan it. We'll get everybody together. We'll pick some topics. and we'll do it. And we won't be on MiFi, so maybe that'll help, and maybe we'll have less issues. So we are remote, so we're doing the best we can with that. But I just want to say again, thank you all for coming on. It was really a pleasure to get to talk to you all, to get your insight, to see what you all think. I hope whoever watches this does enjoy it. But everybody that does watch it, please go and check out all these fine folks. Make sure you check out the Nickerson Snead here where we're at. Go to their Facebook, like their stuff. Check out the Ghost Sisters, like their stuff. Follow the Brew, follow Taryn, see what they're into. Follow End of Line. It's at tourbrushy.com. I forgot to put the website on there, but is that right?
Yes.
tourbrushy.com. And if you haven't been to Brushy Mountain, get down there and do that. But these are some great people, and in my honest opinion, this is some of the best people in the paranormal, and I'm honored to have you guys as friends. So thank you all for being on. I'm going to go ahead and get
Feel the
the
same.
outro. Yep, love you all too. Thank you all for being on.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
hit the outro here.
And
in
I'll be
just a
watching
second.
when you guys go live during your investigation.
Okay.
Yep. We're going to take a short recess, and we're going to get started. So I'm sure we'll be live on the Ghost Sisters channel and ours. So there'll be stuff going on everywhere. But everybody, thanks for tuning into the gathering, and we'll be back next week, hopefully, with What's Issues.